So here we go, everybody. Welcome to the Recap the Show, where we discuss the talking points from Town's most recent game, which of course was the 1-1 draw with Lincoln City as the Blues started the new year with a point. I'm joined by good old Brad, first of all, to start this 2023. Brad, Happy New Year, my friend. How is things? You were in Lincoln for the game. How's things?
Yes, Happy New Year, Ross. Thanks for having me. I'm doing well, mate. Traveled back today, actually, and I've been back about an hour. But still feeling pretty glum about it. I think if I sit here now that I've had time to reflect, I don't think we did enough to win. So I'm not gutted in the sense where it's a game that yes, of course it's a game we should have won, but it's not like we've battered Lincoln at home. It's not like one of them where we really deserved to get the goal and didn't. Or 2 goals. But yeah, so it is what it is. And yeah, here we go. Let's talk about it. Let's delve deeper into it.
Yes, indeed, my friend. Once again, coming from behind to get a point. Of course, the Pompey game, we conceded twice and came from behind both times. But Lincoln, they beat us earlier in the season at Portman Road, where we had multiple chances. Once again, we had more possession, many chances, but it ends 1-1. Cameron Humphreys, of course, scoring an equaliser to get a point. But let's talk, Brad, about the first talking point, and it's the masters of our own downfall. Another game where we could have won, but didn't win. Lincoln, of course, got a good home record, but just one of those days.
Yeah, my first takeaway there. I'm simply saying that it just seems that we're able to find a way not to win the game. I mean, everything is set up there at half time. I was sitting there thinking there's no way that Lincoln are going to score. So if it goes on to be a draw, it's because we don't get the goal. But what do? Even leading up to their penalty, I felt like we didn't do enough to stop the corner from coming, because the corner was going to be their only chance of getting anything or a set piece. Yet we just seemed to quite happily just let Lincoln do what they can to get the corner, and there wasn't enough fight there to stop that. And surely we know that's their only chance. And so then we go 1-0 behind, and then you got to get 2, because it's a game we should be winning against 10 men. And that's the same with Pompey as well. Masters our own downfall, the fact that we a high ball into a box and Pompey get their second, and it just seems that we have to work so hard to get a goal or actually win a game, and in a split second we can just stop that from happening. And it's just so frustrating where we don't seem to be getting the luck as such. I know that people will say that a certain goal was offside and that, but just the actual way that the game flows and the fact that we are so dominant, and we should, on those creation of chances for positions we get in, should be beating teams comfortably each game. We just seem to make it such hard work for ourselves, and yesterday was no exception.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you completely there, my friend. And you sort of mentioned it already, and it segues into the next talking point of the next takeaway. And it's, about the build-up play. We were very slow rather than being patient with the ball. And a lot of questions have been asked, have we got a plan B? We play some good football at times, but sometimes I feel like we're trying to water the ball into the net.
Yeah.
And that's your thoughts, Brad?
Yeah, I felt that. I'm sure that McKenna would have told him, be patient at half time, don't rush things, and try and just keep doing what you're doing. But towards the end of the first half, we were well on top, and we should have scored a couple of chances where Wolfenden obviously hit the bar, and Harness, that was unfortunate that Wes was offside. But going into the second half, I just felt that his ask for patience, and the fact that rather than keep build and play, we just seem to go from side to side too slowly. Morsey's taking a touch and looking up, holding on to the ball for a couple of seconds. Same with Evans. It then gets out wide. It's easy to cover. And I don't think we got down the sides of any defenders yesterday. I felt like that's where we are a threat, and when we can get the players with number 10 roles and they can spin a player, and Chapman can get in behind and cut the ball back or get a shot off. And there was none of that yesterday because we just moved the ball too slowly. And when we're doing that, if we're not getting any joy of that, like you say, Ross, we've got to have a plan B. And we needed a goal at the end. We needed a goal. But how many times did the ball go in the box? I don't think too many. I think Edwards was putting the ball in the box sort of out of hope rather than actually putting it into an area for us to score, where the keeper nearly gave us one at the end. But it just seems that we just don't flood the bots with bodies in those moments. And at the end of the day, you've just got to get that second goal. And I know the process, trust the process in that. But there's been too many times this season where we've trusted that process now and we haven't got that goal. We haven't got the winner. So it's just frustrating because it's a growing trend now. We've been saying over recent games that, that's another one that you can put in that bots and in that bots where we should be winning. And we've had all this domination, but they can't keep adding up. They can't keep adding up because then it is a real problem. And I keep saying it now. We just got to sort it, but I sound like a broken record. So something's got to change. And
yes,
yeah,
definitely, mate. And yeah, we know what sort of football we're going to expect when we play these sides against Lincoln. I know McKenna knows they've got all the data and everything about it, but it just feels it's just the same old story when we play these sort of teams, you know, Wickham and the like that. But that was just the case. And unfortunately, you know, I'm sure McKenna was hoping he could start the likes of Connor Chaplin. Leif Davis missed the game completely. He's, you know, his first game he's missed, I think, was since the Burton game when he was on a new sub at the start in August. So to lose him was sad to see. And of course, he's ill, like most of the squad is. You know, as I think Connor Chaplin was ill. John O'Danashian had to come off at half time. Freddie Dapo as well was ill. It's just a massive illness. But you're all good though, Brad. I think I've asked this every time I have a guest on. Are you feeling good, mate?
I'm
good?
feeling better now. I think I had that around Boxing Day actually. Yeah. So I'd have missed Oxford's game 100%. But I'm getting better now. But
it's good.
But yeah,
absolutely. Leif being a big miss, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And every time the ball went out to Lee yesterday, it's our main build up is to get it wide. And every time I went out to Brad Lee, it's a decent enough backup and he's solid defensively, but he doesn't give you anywhere near going forward as what Davis would give you. And he's got the athleticism, so I just want him to try and run down the outside of his man and get across him, but he didn't do that once. Every time the ball went out to him, he'd simply pass it back to where it came from. And Davis has been outstanding. And I think that when I say about that, I think that if Davis would have got those balls in those positions yesterday, he'd have tried to maybe nutmeg his man or beat his man or put a ball around a corner and get a quick 1-2. So he was a massive miss yesterday. And McKenna, like what he says, he honestly has about 3 fit players he could have picked from, but he obviously had to field an 11. So yeah, that's maybe if we just give him the benefit of the doubt, maybe that's been the reason behind these last 2 results. But yeah, massively missed him yesterday because we basically play through him.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Connor Chaplin, you saw when he came off the bench, he was, you know, a threat straight away. And I think he's definitely a guaranteed starter for me most weeks. And I'm sure a lot of other people as well. Let's talk then about the hottest debate on Town's feed everywhere. Of course, striker. Of course, January transfer window is open. Links getting out there and stuff like that. And you've gone and said, we need the striker.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Yeah, in capitals of the striker, because for me, that is what's missing. I mean, Jackson is no use when teams sit back because he can't. Okay, he did get in behind yesterday. Yes, he got his man sent off, but that was the one and only occasion where that happened. Ladapo just flashed to see for me. I think everyone loves Freddie because of his personality more than his actual footballing ability. I know that he is potentially an upgrade on Bond, but not a huge upgrade. And I just think we need better in that position. And I think we'd just benefit so much from a focal point. My problem with Ladapo hasn't been the chances he's missed. Of course, he should have scored that header yesterday, but it's been his general all-round play for me. And the fact that he doesn't hold the ball very well. He doesn't win a lot in the air. He's not a problem for defenders. And I think that's what we need more than anything, where we can just fizz a ball into a striker. He can drag the 10s up behind, up to him, play off him, link the play, and then be that fox in the box and threat in the box when the ball goes in there. And Ladapo is a poacher, and for me, he's just not getting in the right positions to score. And when he does, he'll probably have like 1 or 2 chances a game, and he's not burying them in anyway. So yeah, for me, I've looked at some names, probably get laughed at, but there's a couple that stand out where Torley Woodrow, who Luton are playing him. Well, he's been coming off the bench a lot recently. He was a player we talked about in the summer who I think would instantly benefit us. He is fit. He's not scored many this season, but I think he would be probably the perfect player for that position because he does link to play well. Carlin Grant is another player from West Brom who did go for big money from Huddersfield to West Brom, but he's frustrated West Brom fans, and they've got Asante, the lad from Salford, who keeps on coming on ahead of him. So he's coming off the bench, but he's a player with a lot of qualities I think McKenna would like. So the player that we're after, I think, is going to come from a Championship. I don't see us going for Connor Wickham, even though he's proved his fitness. I think that's. I mean, if you don't get him, I think there's got to be someone else on top of it. Aaron Collins, yeah, he's certainly got a lot of goal contributions this season, and that's a big risk. It's going to cost quite a bit of money. So I think it's going to be a loan from a Championship. So we'll just have to see who we get. And another one, Will Keane, I think is out of our reach. I think he's had a great season. So if he's going to go higher up more than anything. But yeah, it's a position for me where we're lacking, and we need someone just to complete us fair. You look at Sheffield Wednesday, Michael Smith, Lee Gregory. Even when they're not playing well, they can depend on them to get them a goal out of nothing. Really, just putting the ball in the box and getting a goal. So, yeah, for me that is the big one, because we're not going to get promoted with our current options.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. To be fair, I think we do need another striker. Once again, it can just be another option. It doesn't need to be the main man, because it is hard to sign a main man in January. Yeah. But I think we do need just that extra depth there, and I think it will be a regret, I'm sure, if it doesn't happen in January. And as Mike Asher said, he wants to. No stone left unturned in this window, so we shall wait and see. And Brad, the final sort of talking point to end the recap is the perspective of where we are in the league. We are now out of the top two, but that is the first time we've been out of the top two since the third game of the season. And this time last year, we weren't even thinking about top two, and we were really top six was a pipe dream, in my opinion. But there's a lot of change in that year, and you're thinking the same.
Yeah, I think my final takeaway is simply a positive one, because I've been quite negative. It's just don't panic, because we are third in the league. I know that we've been in the top two for so long, and we've been trying to get our top spot, and now we are third. I think a lot of fans yesterday felt like, oh God, we're not even going to get automatics now. But have a bit of I say patience. That's one of my takeaways. But just have a bit of faith is what I'd say, and the fact that. I actually think we'll bring at least 3 players in this window, which will strengthen us. 1 or 2 could go out to make room for that. And we're in a great position. We've had a really tough run of games. We've had games against either informed teams or teams who are tough places to go away from home, such as Portsmouth. I know they've just sacked Cowley, but it's never an easy place to go. And let's just see how these next couple of months go, because we're in a great position. Got quite a few home games this month, haven't we? Yeah. So, and Sheffield have bottled it they bottled it last year, and it won't surprise me if they do it again. Plymouth fell right out of it last season, so they're still not a runaway leader at the top of this division. So let's just have some faith that we can do it, because like I say, we're in a great position. And think back to a few years ago, I went to the Lincoln game away. Lost 5-3. Lambert got a contract 3 days later for the next 5 years, which he still hasn't actually ran out yet. Yeah. And yeah, I know that that's harkened back to 3 years, but every League One season, we've not even had a prayer of the playoffs, really. It's been oh, can we do it? Oh, can we do it? Well, we're 12 points clear of 7th. So I think, barring an absolute travesty, we are 100% in the top 6. And I know people will say that's a failure if we don't get top 2. But it's still an improvement on seasons gone by. And I'm not saying that's what we're going to get now, but I'm just saying that is it's absolute minimum we will get. So don't be absolutely heartbroken if that don't happen, because we are still in with a shout. And let's just see what this month brings. And I still think we can do it. I still think we're one of the top 2 teams in this division, certainly on our day. And our day just hasn't been lately. But on our day, we're definitely one of the top 2 sides in this league.
Brilliant, my friend. Well said. Well said. Well said. And yeah, for me, don't panic, ladies and gentlemen. Don't panic. It's our blip our little moment of blip. And of course, we've got FA Cup action next up against Rotherham at home. Hopefully, we can beat them and get to the fourth round and get a nice little tie there against the Premier League team, Championship team again. Better Championship team, not a team like Rotherham. But there we go. Brad, well, thanks for joining me. Thanks everyone for watching. Get involved in the comments. Your thoughts, your feelings about the Lincoln game and the month as a whole, the January transfer window. Who do you want Town to sign? Let us know. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye for now.